After starting the season on the disabled list, Jason Schmidt has come back with a vengeance. In his last 3 starts, he's been untouchable, mowing down some of the toughest bats in the major leagues. Tonight, the A's counter with some heat of their own. Tim Hudson takes the mound, and it looks to be a great matchup on the hill. 2 cities, 2 teams, 1 bay, in a rivalry like no other. A's Giants next. Friday night baseball here at Pac Bell Park. The rivalry. It's the Oakland A's taking on the San Francisco Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Duane Kuiper, and sitting in for my partner Mike Krukow is the longtime Giant great announcer Lon Simmons. And Lon, when you look at this ball game, it's really easy to spot. There are 2 tough pitchers pitching tonight, Schmidt and Hudson.
Well, it's interesting the fact that where they are right now, Hudson, who's tied for third in the all-time percentage as first 50 decisions, but he is probably a little bit down now. He's had 4 no decisions. He's had a tough time this year, something he hasn't gone through. Jason Schmidt coming off one of the great pitching performances against the Yankees, so it's going to be a question of who has the most confidence, and either one of them can gain it here if they pitch well against the other ball club.
Right, and we certainly know that this is a great pitcher's ballpark to pitch in. So tonight, as always, the Oakland A's, well, who do they have to worry about? They worry about Barry Bonds. And the A's right now are red hot. They've won 7 straight. Lineups coming up. Now the Giants have taken the field, led by Jason Schmidt, as we are just minutes away from the first pitch of this ball game. The A's and Giants tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday afternoon games.
For Daniel M. Geller.
Here at the ballpark,
Mr. Geller was a
there's going to be a moment of silence for the passing of Dan Geller, who passed away last week. Dan was one of the original investors who helped save the Giants in 1993. Dan Geller, loved by all.
Philanthropist, World War II veteran, and business leader. Above all, Mr. Geller was a devoted husband, father, and grandfather. And we thank you, everybody.
So, cool night here at Pac Bell Park. The sellout crowd awaiting the first pitch of this ball game. And let's check out the A's lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Rookie Mark Ellis will lead it off, followed by Scott Hatteberg. Batting third is Miguel Tejada. Last 7 games, red hot, 4 home runs. Eric Chavez, the cleanup hitter. Then it's Jermaine Dye. Terrence Long, 6th. Ramon Hernandez in the 7th slot. Adam Pye at 8th. And Tim Hudson will pitch and bat 9th. Here's our McDonald's scouting report for Jason Schmidt. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, and he can finesse you. He will work the corners, and he can strike you out. He can punch you out with any one of those pitches. And in his last 3 starts, he has been the real deal. 2-0 with a 1.50 ERA. We check out our Sprint PCS defense, and for the Giants, it'll be Bond, Shinjo, and Sanders. In the outfield from left to right, Bell, Aurelia, Kent, Minor, no errors in 77 chances this year. Minor at first, and the battery of Santiago and Schmidt. So here's Mark Ellis to lead it off. And the first pitch of the ball game is on its way, and it is a fastball outside.
Well, you can see there the record for Jason Schmidt, 2-1, 3.54 earned run average, but his last few starts have been where he's really done the job.
Yeah, he has been everyone thought he would be. And what a great start in his last start at Yankee Stadium. 1-1 to Ellis. Swing and a miss. 1-2, and he's bringing it already.
This kid Ellis, a shortstop basically through his minor league career, and played shortstop at Sacramento. He has done a good job for him at second base. Ehrman wasn't up to it yet. He was a little bit too young for the job.
And Ellis sees a breaking ball for the first time, and he goes down on strike. Yep. Lon, that's what happens when you haven't seen this guy's stuff. And Ellis just broke down completely.
Well, it's interesting. You're so wired when the guy's throwing hard that you're looking for that pitch, and that looked like it was going to be on the outside corner.
Here's Hatteberg. Fastball strike. Hatteberg. 259, 10 home runs, 27 RBIs, but he's been cold this month. David Bell way off the line at third. Swing and a high pop-up foul down the left field line. David Bell will run out of room, and it's 0-2.
What a pitcher does when he gets these confidence, like coming off a game against the Yankees, and when you have that confidence, it's so much easier to throw the ball where you want to, because you're not worried about the release. It's like working on a golf swing where you're concerned you're going to hit it out of bounds. You're throwing and it feels good coming off your fingers, and you don't have to think about where you're going to place the ball.
Here's the 0-2 to Hatteberg, and a foul off of Santiago, and it stays at 0-2.
The only thing I think a guy that throws real hard has to concentrate on, and it happened to Schmidt in New York, that he threw that pitch down, and the batter can drop the head on it. If he throws a fastball up, it's tough to catch up to.
Very high. It was Derek Jeter that had a hard time laying off of Schmidt's high fastball.
Well, you get a better look at it if it's down in a way. Everybody says pitch the ball down and win, but
there's a line drive and can't get it. And let's check in with Glenn Kuiper.
Thanks a lot, Duane. Let's check out our Mercedes keys to the games for tonight. Giants hitters lay off the Tim Hudson splitter. If you get ahead in the count against Hudson, you can beat him. For Jason Schmidt, use the heater. His fastball is 95 miles per hour with movement. Great pitch. Why not throw it a lot? And watch the A's outfield defense. A lot of ground to cover here at Pac-Bell Park. Those are the keys to the game for tonight, guys.
All right, and the hitter will be Miguel Tejada.
Because Glenn's your younger brother, you have to say thank you every time you send it down to him.
He's been raised to be polite to his older brother.
That's very good.
Question is will he treat you the same way? And he better. Tejada right at 300 with 13 home runs, 44 RBIs. The A's, like the Giants in one regard, they do not run much. They are a station-to-station team.
Well, and they take a lot of pitches. Maybe not as much as they did last year, but they're starting to do it again. They make you throw strikes.
Chavez on deck. Hatteberg with his lead. Minor holding him on. And that fastball is a strike. Laz Diaz is calling balls and strikes. Diaz right now in a conversation with Tejada, and it probably went something like this. Hey, Laz, I can't hit it, and I don't think if I can't hit it, it should be called a strike.
Laz said, "Que pasa?"
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a foul back. It's 1-2. 96 on the radar gun here at Pac-Bell Park.
One thing that Schmidt has to be careful of, he's got to place the ball right to Tejada, because Tejada will turn a fastball around. I mean, this guy is a good hitter, and if you get the ball in his zone, he's going to hit it a long way.
Hatteberg at first. Chavez on deck. Just underway here at Pac-Bell Park. Giants coming off a 9-game road trip where they went 6-3. Very high, and it's 2-2. The start by Schmidt at Yankee Stadium, through 3 innings, he struck out 6.
He struck out the first 6 outs.
First 6 outs of the game, strikeout. 2-2 to Tejada. Out of play, and another fastball, and it stays 2-2.
Well, it's interesting. There are certain pitchers like Randy Johnson and Schilling, people like that strike out a lot of guys. But they say generally most pitchers, if you strike out that many early, you're going to fade. Schmidt was still throwing at 96, 97 in the 8th inning.
Yeah, it was clearly one of his best starts. There's Mulder. Two and 2 to Chavez. And Tejada takes low. I beg your pardon. Chavez is on deck, and now it's a full count. We mentioned in our open that Mike Krukow not here. Mike's second son, Baker, graduating tonight. So congratulations to Baker Krukow. And Mike will be back on Tuesday. Payoff pitch, swing, and a high fly ball to right field. Sanders racing in, still racing in. He catches it, and then hustling back to first was Hatteberg. No one was at first, with Minor going way out.
Well, a long run for Sanders. That was ruled a fair ball, and Hatteberg had time to see and also could see whether Sanders was going to get there to make the catch so he could get back easily if someone had been standing there. Incidentally, what Kruk is going to have to go to graduations every year for the next 10 or 12 years, isn't he?
Well, that's the price you pay when you have that many great kids, and he does. Here's Chavez. And Chavez takes a pitch in the dirt. That's right. The guys in the truck tell me that if that's the case, you need to be available all the time.
Around June 14th or 15th, I'll be available. At least for a year or so.
It's great having Lon here in the booth on Fox Sports Net. 1-0 to Chavez. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Chavez could not catch up to the heater, and it's a ball and a strike.
It looked like Schmidt took a little bit off that fastball because he threw at 93 and he's been throwing a couple miles an hour faster.
Well, Chavez has that little high leg kick. And this time he did throw this one down around the knees, and it's 1-2. Now the A's are seeing Jason Schmidt for the very first time. They have never seen Schmidt and what kind of stuff he's got. Back is Hatteberg.
Jermaine Dye is the only one in the starting lineup that's hit against Schmidt before in the regular season.
And Dye is on deck, and Schmidt in the 1-2 count. Here it comes. Got him. And that ends the inning. Chavez chases the high fastball. 2 strikeouts for Schmidt. Giants coming up. Here's Dusty Baker's lineup, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Reggie Sanders will lead it off, followed by Rich Aurelia. Bonds, Barry Bonds, is hitting third. 11 home runs lifetime against the A's. Good numbers. Then Jeff Kent, the cleanup hitter, followed by Damon Minor. Benito Santiago, 6th. 7th is David Bell. Shinjo, 8th. Jason Schmidt, 9th. Here's Sanders. Hudson, 3 and 6. And this will be his 15th start. Sanders takes a strike. Here's our McDonald's scouting report on Tim Hudson. Good stuff all the way around, including that splitter that Glenn was talking about. He's got great arm action on all of his pitches, but his location has been a problem this year. Slowly hit past Hudson. Tejada barehands it, throws it off the bag. Sanders aboard. Hatteberg could not stay on, and it should be a hit. Our sprint PCS defense for the A's. Pyatt, Long, and Dye in the outfield, left to right. Chavez, Tejada, Ellis, Hatterberg, third to first. Hatterberg with only one error and 133 chances. Hudson and Hernandez is your battery. And it is an infield hit line.
Well, the left side of the infield for the Athletics is tremendous. Chavez and Tejada. Now that Ellis is at second base, it has improved over there.
Right.
And Hatterberg's doing a good job at first. And then in left field, Pyatt has helped their defense, and Dye and right. So it's a stronger defensive team, really, than it was last year.
Aurelia, double play ball to second. Ellis to Tejada to Hatterberg. And on one pitch, it goes 4-6-3, and there's 2 out. Here's the Barry Bonds home run counter, brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. 22 this year, 589 total.
You know, Aurelia, unusual at bat for him. He looked as if he was just sort of protecting on that pitch. He sort of jammed himself. Usually he is very patient.
Bonds takes high. Bonds against Hudson is 3 for 6 with a couple of home runs. And the pitch is off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes.
Hudson's 0-1 against the Giants. He lost that one last year. He's had a couple of no decisions.
Bonds lines it. Right field line. Fair ball. It dies into the corner. Dye will pick it up. And Bonds with a double. Well, Art House said all we need to do, well, not all we need to do, but we need to keep Bonds in the ballpark. Well, they did.
Yeah, he said he'd be more than happy to give him a base hit, but he just doesn't want him to put it out in McCovey Cove or some other distant place in this ballpark. But the big thing about pitchers, they can give up hits, they can give up walks, but if they've got the pitch that they can get a ground ball with men on, which Hudson did, it certainly makes an inning look different, because with the runner at second base, the Giants have got to run now. Now it's up to Kent.
Kent, 34 RBIs with 8 home runs. Pitch is high. Kent, 2 for 6 in his career against Hudson. The hot-hitting Damon Minor is on deck. Bonds with a good-sized lead, and Kent pulls it on the ground to third for Chavez, and that will end the inning. Bonds stranded after 1 inning, 0-0. It's available for the series against Tampa Bay next week, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 7:15. And Thursdays at 12:35 day game. Also good seats available for that one. Check out the interleague action right here at Pac-Bell Park, 510-762-BALL, or check out the Giants website, sfgiants.com. Pick your dates. Say hey, come out and play.
It's interesting about Hudson. He gives up 2 hits in the first inning, and he's given up a lot of hits this year. In fact, he's 5th in the American League in hits allowed. He's now given up 98 this season already.
Jermaine Dye takes a call strike. 5 home runs, 25 RBIs, hitting .248. Foul back. Dye had a good rip at that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, and it's 0-2. Of course, Dye wears that shin guard on his left leg. That's where in the playoff game last year against the Yankees, he broke his leg. Got him.
Well, Schmidt apparently liked what he saw in New York.
Yeah,
Rear back and throw it.
He found out he loved that fastball.
There's so many pitchers that give up either that or their catchers give up on the fastball, or they want to fool a guy with the breaking pitch. Well, you can fool a guy with a breaking pitch if you throw a majority of fastballs, and if you got a good one like Schmidt had, there's no use leaving it in your arm.
Here's Terrence Long. High strike, and it's 0-1. 7 home runs, 37 RBIs. Long hitting, 238. Left field. Bonds drifting back with room, out number 2.
It used to be Robin Roberts used to throw hard, and he threw mainly strike. He gave up a lot of home runs, but generally they were with nobody on base,
Right.
and he struck out a lot of people.
You know, that was the whole take on Catfish Hunter when you faced Catfish. He'd give up 35 home runs a year, but 30 of them were solo home runs. And he really didn't, well, I don't want to say bear down, but he really didn't expose his real good fastball until he had to.
Well, Schmidt seems to be able to go from 93 to 97, and just an adjustment of 3 or 4 miles an hour, you know, as a hitter, is something that's tough to overcome.
Hernandez takes a strike, hitting 230. 3 home runs, 20 RBIs, 21 to be exact, but hitting much better as of late.
He got off to a poor start. They were concerned about him, but he's suddenly joined the crowd. Well, all the A's in the last several games where they showed up in a 7-game win streak, they've started hitting the ball good.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2. 9 for his last 18, and that's over the last 6 games.
You know, it's amazing this night how beautiful it is out here again.
It's gorgeous.
Spectacular. Sailboat's still out on the bay with the sun shining brightly out there.
That fastball off the top of Santiago's glove. It stays at 2 and 2.
Diaz is going to have to be careful, because when Schmidt throws that high fastball, sometimes he's going to throw it right past Santiago. And the next thing behind Santiago is the umpire, and he doesn't have a glove.
Here's the 2-2. He got him. 4 strikeouts for Schmidt. Damon Minor coming up. He's been a hot hitter. It's 0-0.
Welcome back to Pac Bell Park, everybody. Well, Damon Minor is coming off a series in Toronto where he went 7 for 11 and homered in each game. Because of that, we're going to put him in our GMC professional grade tonight. We'll keep an eye on his at-bats against one of the better right-handed starters in the American League in Tim Hudson. Guys?
All right, thanks, Glenn.
7 for 11 sounds like he owns a chain of stores.
That's right. Minor with that exaggerated open stance, and then he closes it as Hudson comes to the plate. Pitch is low, 2 balls and no strike.
We'll have to watch out, see he doesn't get robbed tonight.
I'm with you on these, Lon. You're not going to get any by me tonight. Minor out of play down the left field line, and it's 2 and 1. Here's our Chevron high performance spotlight. Last 3 games. Check out these numbers. 7-11. 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, all in Toronto. And Minor, like he took a changeup, and it's a strike, and it's 2 and 2.
It didn't look like he took it in very good humor. I don't think he thought it was a strike.
I don't think he did either. Here's the 2-2 offering. Minor, strike 3. Little fastball that came back in.
Well, that changeup set him up for that one. He wasn't just put a little bit of doubt in his mind.
Now that may fall into the category line of too close to take.
Yeah. Of course, when you got in your mind a different speed, you get locked up.
Yep. Here's Benito Santiago. Lifetime against the A's, good numbers. 1 for 3 in his career against Hudson, with David Bell on deck. Bottom of the 2nd inning here at Pac Bell Park, and Santiago takes low. Giants glad to be back home. And you sit where we're sitting, and where would you rather be?
Amazing that they wound up 6 and 3 on that trip after some of the heartbreak they had in the losses.
Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. A ball and a strike. It was funny. You go into Yankee Stadium. You could have won all three. You could have lost all three. And in the end, they won 1 out of 3.
Well, that's the way it should be in two teams battling. Each should be in it all the way. That looks on paper like the way this series will be.
That's grounded foul. Leonard giving it a shot. Decided too much effort. 1-2 to Santiago.
You only have so much effort left when you get to be a ball dude. Or an old announcer.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he dribbles it foul. I assume you're talking about me.
No, I was talking about Kuiper.
There's Steffi Graf on the left, her husband, Andre Agassi, and their little one. That's Jaden watching the ball, watching the ball game at this beautiful ballpark. Of course, they live in the area as Santiago dribbles one foul.
Well, they got Brad Gilbert and Todd Martin over there also.
That's the first game for the baby, and very big Giants fans.
Well, if the baby had seen another one, it had to be that Steffi came out here when she was pregnant.
Right.
Not for that baby isn't very old.
No. Well,
pretty good tennis players over there.
Yeah,
I can see it, Martin and Gilbert.
You know what? That kid's going to be a baseball
Steffi.
player. You watch. 1-2 to Santiago. Hit into center field. Terrence Long coming in, and he'll make the catch. All right, it's time now for this date in Giants history, brought to you by your Northern California Toyota dealers. June 14th, last year, Barry Bonds hit his 34th home run of the season off a Lou Post in a 10-4 win over Anaheim right here at Pac-Bell Park. That's what it looked like.
You know, if I was Bonds, I'd be embarrassed to have the name Post on my list of guys that hit home runs.
Here's David Bell. Should have been Poke. He poked.
It was a long poke.
David Bell, lifetime over 300 in his career against the A's. Of course, having spent some years with Seattle, he's played the A's a lot. Foul to the backstop, and it's 0-2. Shinjo on deck. We're in the bottom of the second. Glad you joined us here on Fox Sports Net. Duane Kuiper along with Lon Simmons.
Well, that's okay. You have to be along with somebody.
And I'm along for the ride with you. Here's the 0-2 pitch to David Bell, and David Bell checked his swing, and it's 1-2. Giants with a couple of hits in the first inning, but a Rich Aurelia 4.63 wiped out one of the hits. David Bell inside. They'll check, and Randy Marsh rang him up, and that'll end the inning. After 2, it is 0-0. In tonight's game, we are participating in the Capture Home Run Challenge, where each home run raises $23,000 from your pledges for prostate cancer research. If you would like to make a pledge, here's the number to call: 1-800-547-CURE.
Well, there's somebody with giving the finger to the whole world from the United States.
Yeah.
We got the flag on
They
everything.
do, and it gives you an idea of what it's like in that section as far as the wind. And taking a strike is Adam Pyatt.
Just walking along the Embarcadero today, one place that would be perfectly still, and then you walk a half block, and you'd have to put your head down to walk. It was blowing so hard. Amazing how the wind is so different in so many places.
Hyatt goes around, says Las Diaz, and it's 0-2. How was your walk?
Very good. I'm going to enjoy that. To walk up and down the Embarcadero here, wave to your thousands of fans.
Yeah. Out of play. Lon, of course, moving from Alameda into the city, lives right by the ballpark, and all you have to do is short little walk and you're here.
Well, I wanted to get close, so in case I die, then it won't have to move me so far.
Here's the 0-2, and he got him. That's 5 strikeouts for Schmidt. And here's Tim Hudson, who will bat for the first time this year.
Hudson was a pretty good hitter in college, but he hasn't had that much opportunity to hit, and he's only had, I think, 1 hit in his career in the major leagues.
Fastball is high to Hudson. On deck is Mark Ellis. 3rd inning. Giants A's, game 1 of this 3-game series. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Schmidt has stayed right at that 93, 94, 95, 96 range. 2-1.
Hudson's 1 for 15 in his career.
And he pops this one into the upper deck above us. And it stayed upstairs. Many of the fans in the club level looking up. And that's the family that ended up with the baseball.
He had 18 home runs for Auburn and 398 batting average in college in his senior year.
Well, he's worked Schmidt to a full count.
He's not swinging at that fastball up out of the strike zone like the other hitters have.
Payoff pitch coming up to Hudson. Here it is. He walked him. Well, it's a show that's changing the face of sports television, the best damn sports show period. It's a look back at some of the best moments on the show with Diamondbacks Curt Schilling, Timberwolves Walt Zerbiak, and 49er coach Steve Mariucci. All this is happening right after the ball game. It's the best damn sports show period coming up. Detroit leading Schilling in the D-backs 1-0. That game is in the 5th inning. Here's Ellis. First hitter to face Schmidt, and he struck him out to lead off the ball game. And a shot that's a fair ball down the left field line. Bonds will take his time as the fan touches it.
That's getting out of hand. The fans down there, that's ridiculous.
So in the umpire's judgment, they felt like Tim Hudson was not going to score. And the pitch right there for Ellis to lay out a semi-line drive. Hatteberg singled in the first. So the walk to Hudson puts A's in scoring position with 1 out. Giants will play the corners in, the middle infielders back. Foul out of play, and it's no balls and a strike.
That's interesting when you're cruising along like Schmidt was, that all of a sudden you can't throw the ball over the plate for the pitcher. And it gets you in trouble. And the thing is, it puts him in a stretch instead of pitching from the windup.
And a rocket to right field, a base hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Ellis. 2 runs will score. And just like that, the Giants were breezing along. And a walk to the pitcher. Ellis a double. Hatteberg his second hit. And it's 2-0 Athletics. And Hatterberg with his second solid single. And that one struck sharply. And the hitter is Tejada, who popped out to right field.
Well, Schmidt had the one tough inning against the Yankees where he gave up the 3-run home run. So now he's given up 2. See if he can settle down here in this spot.
And the pitch is low, and it's 1-0. Well, Hudson helps his own cause with the walk. And a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Art Howe watched his team struggle, but when it got to the softer part of the schedule, the A's knew they had to make a move, and they did. And they're in the middle of it right now. They won 7 in a row.
Well, it got him some confidence back. They were staggering until they met that lesser teams in the schedule and got them back on track.
You know, the A's just coming off a sweep where they took care of the Brewers. Go to first, and Hatterberg is back.
Another thing that's happened is the A's have, during this past streak, have played airless ball. They've had 10 games. They haven't made an error.
They swept Houston in an interleague series. Matter of fact, they're 6-0 against the National League. Bouncing ball, David Bell's got it. He will flip it to Kent for 1. Kent to Minor, got him. And that'll be a double play to end the inning. However, a couple of runs in for the A's. Giants coming up 2-0 Oakland. Here's Shinjo, and he takes the strike from Hudson. A's leading 2-0. It's Shinjo, Schmidt, and Sanders. And that is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Well, the Giants starting the same spot in their batting order that the A's did after the first out recorded against the A's, and the walk to Hudson started things for the Athletics.
Shinjo out on 3 pitches.
Well, have you bought the newest bobblehead of Giants TV announcer team yet? This Sunday is the last day to place your order. It, of course, is the Kruk and Kite bobblehead, first ever combo bobblehead. $25 plus shipping and handling, and part of the proceeds benefits the Giants Community Fund. Reserve yours now. Call 1-800-274-3004. Again, Sunday, the last day to place your order.
You have to have a Chevy to use those? You put them in the rear window?
Yeah. It'll bounce around for a while. Schmidt, 0-2. Sanders on deck. Hudson has struck out 3 of his last 4. Outside, 1-2. Giants have, they win this, it'll have to be from come from behind fashion. Strike 3 call, and that's out number 2. Interview guest of Giants baseball on Fox Sports Net receive a gift of Nike eyewear. Wear Nike eyewear.
Nike, he likes it.
Here's Reggie Sanders.
Well, Hudson seems to be getting confidence now with his pitches. He's putting them in pretty good spots.
Sanders swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
Changing speed. San Diego's teaching Schilling a little humility at the moment.
I mean, Detroit.
I'm in Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit leading Arizona now 4-0. Sanders an infield hit in the bottom of the first. Outside for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. There you look at the schedule and you look at who's pitching and you think it's easy to pick the winners in baseball. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Sanders.
Hudson all of a sudden is pitching like it happens every spring. So the baseball's got something on it that's disappearing from wood.
That was like one of my favorite baseball movies of all time.
Was it Ray Milland?
Yeah. 1-2 to Sanders, who now asks for time.
I lost a lot of money on that movie because I kept betting that they could hit Milland.
Bouncing ball to third. Chavez will have to hurry. He throws in time to get Sanders to end it. Hudson has retired 7 straight. A's lead 2-0. It is time now for our Aflac trivia question. Here it is. Name the 3 Hall of Famers to play for both the A's and the Giants. Join us right here on Fox Sports Net Wednesday night, 6:30, for more interleague action. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays visit Pac Bell Park to take on the Giants pregame show, 6:30. Join us. Here's truly Duane Kuiper and Mike Krukow will be sitting in the stands to do that ball game as Chavez swings and misses and it's 0-1. Actually, we'll be right down below in front of us in the club level. Chavez struck out in the first, and he hits a long one to right. Sanders looking up, and it is gone. Chavez a solo home run, and it's 3-0. Home run number 17 for Eric Chavez. And with that home run, another $23,000 donated to the Capture Support Prostate Cancer Research. Chavez unloads to right field. Well, the second time around has been a bit different, Juan.
Yeah, it certainly has. I thought it was maybe because he was pitching from the stretch, but he wasn't pitching from the stretch there.
Guy takes high. Chavez, who had struck out on a high fastball, got one that wasn't quite as high. Dye hits one to right field. Sanders going back. Now he's on the track, but he comes in to make the catch. And that's out number 1.
Well, the single that Hatterberg got was one of those pitches that was started out high, and it almost looked like it was a high sinker or something,
right,
because it came down into the strike zone.
Yeah, there aren't many balls that are hit out to right field other than Barry Bonds. That one was. And with one out, here's Terrence Long. Long takes a strike. He hit a fly ball to left in the second. Here's the 0-1 to Dye, and a breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Passed Carney Lansford with that, I think.
For home runs as a third baseman in A's history.
As an Oakland A's.
Popped him up. Rich Aurelia drifting back and puts it away, and that's out number 2. And here's Ramon Hernandez. Hernandez ended the second inning by striking out. Schmidt with 5 strikeouts. But since that strikeout, and then one to Pyatt, it has not been an easy deal for Jason Schmidt. Swing and a miss, and it's no balls and 1 strike.
Well, it started with the walk to the pitcher, and I don't know whether that shook him up a little bit or not, but it put him in a stretch position against the next hitters. Hudson's going to be tough with a 3-0 lead. The bullpen has failed him a couple of times in his recent streak, but he's got himself a lead now.
Yep. You'll have Aurelia, Bonds, and Kent coming up in the 4th. One and 2 to Hernandez. To right field, Sanders again going back, and now battling that wind, and he puts it away to end the inning. Last year's All-Stars coming up, Aurelia, Bonds, and Kent.
Giants baseball is brought to you by Jack in the Box, where we don't make it till you order it. By Chevron, remember it's what's inside that counts. Use Chevron with Techron. And by AT&T Broadband, cable television, internet, and local phone service. For more information, call 1-800-945-2288.
All right, let's check out the answer to our Aflac trivia question. Name the 3 Hall of Famers to play for both the A's and the Giants. Lon and I got 2, and the other one we missed was Joe Morgan. Sorry, Joe. I know you're watching, so there's Big Mac. Here's Rich Aurelia to lead it off. And Aurelia bluffs a bunt and takes a high strike. And
You can say that pitch surprised him.
yeah, it actually got a smile out of Aurelia.
Holy
Easy, Laws.
Marvin Bernard's umpiring. Marvin thinks that pitch is a strike.
0-1 to Aurelia. Off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Aurelia saw 1 pitch in the first inning and hit into a 4-6-3 double play. Aurelia slams one to center field, but Long is there, and he'll put it away. And that's out number 1, and here's Bonds. Bonds doubled in the first inning. Hudson really doesn't have to be as careful now as he was before. Big shift is on for Bonds. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Bonds with the base hit up his average to 359. Look out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Hudson did this a couple of years ago, and it ticked Dusty Baker off.
I think it ticked Bonds off too.
And I think it ticked them both off again. Off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Did Bonds hit a home run off in that thing?
Yes, he did. They're going away. Swing and a foul back, and it's 2-2. Well, Bonds will regroup and step back in. Outfield as deep as you can get. Kent on deck. And they're going to come in again to Bonds. And Bonds takes high, and now it's a full count. Three and 2. On the ground, second baseman, well, the shortstop Tejada with the play to the right of second base. And that's out number 2. And the hitter will be Kent.
First time Todd has played second base.
Yeah, it's always strange to write down 6-3 when
Ball's hit to the right side of second. Of course, it's a tough one to say 4-3 when the second baseman fields it halfway out to the right field.
Yep, that's true. Kent grounded out to third to end the first. And he takes a strike. Two outs, nobody on. 3-0 A's. And it's a ball and a strike.
Giants playing so very well in their home ballpark, but this year they've had a little more difficulty than they had in the past years. Look out, there's another one under the chin.
Yeah, that looked like it was a changeup.
The Giants are going to start thinking he's doing it on purpose, although I don't think you throw one under the chin on purpose with an off speed.
No. And it's 2-2. Minor on deck. Bottom of the 4th inning. Got him, and that'll end the inning. 5 strikeouts for Hudson. We'll head to the 5th here at Pac Bell Park. So far, all Hudson in the A's. Well, due to a scheduling conflict at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, the Giants' home games originally scheduled for June 24th and 25th have been moved to the 14th and 15th of September. All customers holding tickets for these games, please note, the Monday 24th tickets are now good for Saturday, September 14th. The Tuesday 25th games the tickets are good for Sunday, September 15th. Also, the Wednesday 26th game at Pac Bell Park will now start at 1:05 instead of 12:35.
Well, you know, they made that shift in the schedule. Just took my only road trip away from me.
There you go. Here's Adam Pyatt. He will lead it off, and he hits a high pop-up into shallow center field where Shinjo is making the call and the catch. And that's out number 1. And that'll bring up Tim Hudson.
I wonder if Reggie knows that Shinjo's saying, "I've got it." He knows he's yelling something,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he knows that I've got it.
It should have been the first thing that Sanders tried to pick up.
Be terrible if he's saying, "You take it."
Well, Bonds got knocked down. Let's see what happens to Hudson. Fastball is high, 1-0.
Well, that's no different than the pitches that he threw him the last time he was up.
Hudson slams one into center field. That's a base hit. This one's going to roll to the wall, and he's got a double. Hudson is doing it all tonight. He walked to lead off the 3rd, and he doubled here in the 5th. So he's making it look easy. Good swing by Tim Hudson. And here's Mark Ellis, who doubled in the 3rd. Shinjo got to it quickly.
Schmidt would have a pretty good night if it wasn't for
That's right.
wasn't for Hudson.
Breaking ball low and away for a ball, 1-0. 10 for 27 since Mark Ellis has been called up from Sacramento. popped them up. Aurelia and Bonds, and it's Aurelia making the call in front of Bonds, and that's out number 2. It's the show that's changing the face of sports television, the Best Damn Sports Show, period. A look back at some of the best moments tonight. Kurt Schilling, Wally Zerbiak, Steve Mariucci. Quite a lineup. The Best Damn Sports Show, period, coming up after the ball game. Here's Hatteberg, who's done a lot of damage tonight. 2 for 2, a couple of singles, a couple of RBIs, and a breaking ball in for a strike. First base is open. Should Smith choose to pitch around Hatteberg. Ground ball foul, and it's 0-2. The 2 RBIs in the 3rd inning gives Hatteberg 29 on the year. Oh, and 2. Bouncing ball to David Bell. He has it. He'll take his time and throw to Minor to end the inning. Hudson stranded at second. Minor will lead it off. 3-0 A's. Giants Baseball is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares. Here's a look at what's on tap for Giants on TV, brought to you by Corona. Now the 2 games left in this series. Tomorrow, 1 o'clock, KTVU, Fox 2, and then on Sunday it'll be KICU action on Channel 36. That'll also be at 1 o'clock. The Tampa Bay series here at Pac Bell Park. Fox 2 on Tuesday, Fox Sports Net on Wednesday, and then as always, all games on KMBR 680. And the Thursday game is a radio-only ball game. Minor bouncing ball foul, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Minor, Santiago, Bell here in the 5th. Giants have had 2 base runners, 1 wiped on at a double play, and then Bonds was left stranded on a 2-out double in the 1st. Minor takes inside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Hudson is really shaving a lot of the Giants here. I'm surprised that there hadn't been some retaliation.
The pitch is caught backing out of play, and it's 1-2. Well, once in a while we'll see the old A's Giants combo hat. There was a time when it was right around the '89 World Series where those were very popular. In the dirt, 2-2. But for the most part, I hear fans talking about those hats all the time, and majority rule, people hate them.
They're not cool.
I mean, it looks great on that woman, but I'm just going by what the majority of the opinion is. Full count now to Minor. And she looks terrific.
But she's got to change hats.
Here's the payoff to Minor. And Minor bounces it foul. And it stays 3-2.
Hope that's not his favorite bat. It just broke it.
Hope it wasn't the bat that he used in Toronto. On deck, Santiago, and then David Bell. The Giants trying to get some base runners and get something happening.
I asked him why. What about the series in Toronto, and he said he made a minor adjustment in his swing.
Yeah. The walk. Yeah, that's a tough guy to walk, and Hudson just did it. 3 home runs, 3 consecutive games. There's
10.
Monday night.
I was going to say 10 in succession.
Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, this was the third Tell It Goodbye. And he hit it right off the Barney sign.
Hudson had retired 10 in succession before walking minor. Now the Giants need some activity with their bat.
Here's Santiago, and he dribbles it foul. Santiago, a great May. In June, he's tailed off. Ranked second among National League catchers with 34 RBIs. Of course, Mike Piazza is first on that list.
That's the way they're running in the All-Star voting, too.
Yeah. Piazza with 36 RBIs. Santiago out of play, and it's 0-2.
Santiago, when he got into that streak where he was really hitting the ball so successfully, he was going to the opposite side a lot. If they got one over the middle of the plate, he could pull it, but basically he was hitting the ball to right center.
Here it's 0-2, 3-0 A's. Benito Santiago. Look out in tight 1-2. Santiago on the year has only walked 12 times in 198 plate appearances.
John Miller talking to us today, talking about Detroit. Walked only 13 times in a series, and at the same time Bonds was walking 16 times by himself.
In the dirt, it's 2-2. And of course, John was talking about the matchup tonight, Schilling against the Tigers. Schilling, who doesn't walk anybody, and the Tigers, who don't walk at all. And he was saying, well, what are the odds that Schilling would walk a Tiger tonight? Well, whatever has happened, the Tigers are leading 4-0 in the 6th inning.
Pretty tough to walk a Tiger if he doesn't want to walk.
Yeah. Kind of let him do what he wants. Santiago's got a base hit to left field.
Well, that was one of those pitches that Hudson has been making more often this year, where he gets that pitch up that looked like the splitter that he got up about belt high.
And Santiago took advantage of it with the solid single. Here's David Bell. David Bell struck out in the 2nd. Lately, it's been a tough go for David. And he takes a pitch that's low and away, 1-0. David Bell on the road trip was 8 for 33. And he has faced Hudson more than anybody in this Giants lineup.
Has a home run off him, but didn't wear him out. 4 for 19 coming in here.
And it's 2-0. Well, Hudson in the stretch doesn't like it so far.
Well, he got a break in the 1st inning when he had a runner on and really hit the first pitch into a double play. Got him out of the stretch right away. Then all of a sudden, he swept through 10 in succession. Before this inning, walking the leadoff batter and then missing upstairs with the pitch to Santiago.
I'd like to remind you the Tampa Bay series coming up. More interleague action. Tickets are available for all 3 games. Tuesday and Wednesday night, 7:15. The Thursday game is a 12:35 day game. And, check out which one game you'd like to go to. Maybe all 3. And the number to call for tickets is 510-762-BALL. Giants and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. A couple of local kids, Greg Vaughn from Sacramento and Randy Wynn from Danville.
Rick Peterson went on to talk to Hudson, the A's pitching coach. Whether he detected something or not, we'll find out.
And it's 3-0. Three balls and no strikes.
David Pasek is going down to the Giants bullpen.
And a 3-0 strike to David Bell.
With the pitcher possibly coming up in this inning.
Schmidt is at the bat rack. It's 3-1 to David Bell. Make it 3-2.
Well, Bell was taking all the way, it appeared, on each of those pitches.
Marvin Bernard getting ready. So now David Bell does not have the luxury of taking a close pitch. 3-2.
See if Dusty sends the runners here. I doubt it.
And he fouled it at the plate.
Minor at second base isn't going to be a candidate to steal the base if Bell happens to strike out. Of course, sometimes it doesn't make any difference how fast the runner is. You figure that you got a better chance of not hitting in the double play.
Right.
And if you just stay there.
Well, we'll see what happens. 3-2. David Bell breaks his bat and he loops one to second. And that's out number one. And here's Shinjo. So after falling behind 3-0, Hudson comes back.
Well, not a productive out for Bell. At least he had a chance of moving the runners over. But he didn't, and now Shinjo is up here where Hudson's got himself in the spot where if he gets a ground ball, he could get 2 out.
Shinjo struck out in the third inning. And he takes a strike. Shinjo didn't think so. Laz Diaz giving him a long look. Pitcher strike. 0-1. Another strike and it's 0-2. Right now Shinjo in 2 at-bats has seen 5 pitches and they've all been strikes. Well, at least in the umpire's opinion. But
yeah, that last one was a strike, but the one before it I don't think was.
Well, Hudson bobbing and weaving and trying to get out of it. And I got to tell you something. I don't know how Shinjo could take it.
Well, that was a pitch that he called a strike against Aurelia when he was up there bluffing a bunt.
1-2. Minor at second. At first is Santiago. And he got him. Shinjo out on strikes. There's 2 away. And Schmidt's going to hit.
Well, I guess Dusty had something positive happened along there, would have gone for the pinch batter because he had Vitasic warming up. But now with 2 outs, he'll stay with Schmidt.
Schmidt struck out in the third. And he rolls this one foul. And it's no balls and 1 strike. Schmidt on the year 2 for 12. Which remember Hudson lifetime was only 1 for 15 and he's got a walk and a double in this game. Giants would take a double right here.
You might even see him settle for a single if they go
Not close. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Probably wouldn't release him if he got a walk either.
Probably not.
Huh.
Schmidt get a hit. All right.
Looks like the way she's holding that sign, it looks like it's HTT though.
On the ground to short. Tejada's got it. He'll go the short way. And Hudson gets out of it as the Giants strand a pair. After 5, 3-0. Oakland.
Welcome back to the ballpark, everybody. The A's have 3 runs and 5 hits through the first 5 innings, and that is big news because Pac Bell Park has not been kind to the A's offense in the last couple of years. Now, before tonight, the A's had played 6 games here at Pac Bell. In those 6 games, they scored just 12 runs and hit just 225 as a team, and they lost 5 of those 6 games. But Duane and Lon, different story tonight for the A's offense.
Yep. Indeed, it has been, and of course, we do not see many balls go out to right field, and Chavez, it went out in the 4th. And here in the 6th inning, it'll be Tejada, Chavez, and Dye.
Don't say die to an old person.
Well, I don't consider you at that stage in your life. See, we have the hat, the A's Giants hat.
The A's Giant faces. No, that's all A's faces. No, he's got black and orange.
Here's Tejada. He's popped out. He's hit into a double play. And he takes a high strike, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Dress him up warm when you come to the ballpark. This might be a different story tomorrow. 2-day games coming up Saturday and Sunday. Tejada takes a strike, and it's 0-2.
Diaz likes to call strikes, doesn't
he? He sure does. And Schmidt had 5 strikeouts after 2 1/3 innings. He hasn't had one since then. Got Tejada. And with 1 out, that'll bring up Chavez. 6 strikeouts for Schmidt.
He needed Hudson to chase one like that the first time up. But he was a disciplined hitter.
Yes, he was. Chavez is struck out and he's homered. The home run came in the 3rd inning. Take a look at it. Chavez lifted it out, and for Chavez's 17th of the year as he takes a strike. 3-0 A's. We're in the 6th inning. These teams will face each other 5 more times. That's out of play, and it's 1-2.
Well, the Giants have experienced the pleasure of having 2 infielders, Aurelia and Kent, giving them home runs and RBIs, and the A's left side of the infield with Chavez and Tejada are very productive as power hitters.
Bouncing ball to Kent. Kent has it on the 3rd hop, and he throws to Minor. John and Mitch as they celebrate their 100th episode of Hooked on Golf. Your inside look at the game of golf. They'll look back at the very first episode from 1994 in Half Moon Bay. Wacky features throughout the years. Maybe that could be something that would happen on every show, a wacky feature. And there'll be a star-studded cast from all the years back. And Hooked on Golf, John and Mitch, check it out.
I was up playing a tournament in Stockton, and John was doing a clinic there. He had a lot of bad things to say about my game.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
He said I had all the shots. I just didn't know when I was going to hit them.
Dye ahead in the count, 2-0. Schmidt's going to have to be careful right here. And he throws a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. The little ones at the yard. This one's in training. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Dye hammers it to right field. It'll be a base hit as Sanders gets to it, and there's a 2-out single bringing Terrence Long to the plate. 6 hits for the Oakland A's. Long played in 303 consecutive games for the A's.
It's interesting. The Giants and A's both had players that couldn't start the season because of injuries. Dye's broken leg from last year kept him out of the beginning of the year, and Kent's broken wrist had him sidelined for the start. Each back and playing very well now. The Western Division of the National League isn't doing too well against the American League tonight.
No. Long chases a bad pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Anaheim pounding the Dodgers 7-2. Seattle that 6-3 over San Diego. Arizona was it losing 4-1 to Detroit at the moment. The Giants behind here 3-0.
Low to Terrence Long. 2 balls and 1 strike. Giants in the 6th will have the top of the batting order up.
Schmidt's got to be careful here too. Long's got some power.
Swing and a miss. Took something off. It's 2-2. Might have been a high changeup.
Yeah,
not exactly where you want to put it.
Yeah, off speed, but the good thing was they got him well out in front. Here's where he wants to make the decision. You hate to go 3-2, especially with 2 outs. He wants to get this decided here on the 2-2 pitch.
And Long fights it off. He threw him a fastball. That one didn't stay in the club level very long.
Long, who's played the corners in the outfield for the A's, now having to play in center field, and not been a kind place to Long, and probably bothered him a little bit.
Low and in, and now it's a full count.
I think that happened to Marvin Bernard. Right. Marvin, a very good right fielder and left fielder, but I think center field, it was on his mind enough that it bothered him at the plate too. Sometimes the player is put in a spot that just is very tough for him, and it's mentally you have to be ready to play the game, and if something bothering you, it's a little difficult for you to perform at your peak.
Dial beyond the move. Here's the payoff, and it's out of play.
I think that was one of the things about Dave Kingman's career when he first came to the Giants. They put Dave in different positions. He played first base in the minors, even though McCovey was at first base for the Giants, and they didn't want him to play the outfield. And then when he came up to the majors, they put him in the outfield. Then they put him at third base, then they had him pitch.
Dye goes. Got him. That'll end the inning. 7 strikeouts for Schmidt. For the Giants, it'll be Sanders, Aurelia, and Bonds coming up. 3-0 A's. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Giants. Join us right here on Fox Sports Net Wednesday night, 6:30 for more interleague action. The Tampa Bay Devil Rays take on the Giants right here at Pac Bell Park. Pre-game 6:30. Be there or be square.
Fans down here yelling for Kruk, wondering where he is. And I heard one fan say, oh, I think they put a new wrinkle in the booth.
Right up the middle, off the leg of Hudson, and Sanders is going to beat it out. And that's how the bottom of the sixth gets started. Sanders with his second infield hit. I don't know, Lon, where did it hit him?
Oh, looked like hit him right on the foot.
Yep.
Yeah, he stuck his left foot out and hit him on the side of the foot.
You know, if he maybe hadn't made contact with the foot, it might have gone right in his glove. Here's Rich Aurelia, an infield hit by Sanders in the first inning, and then Aurelia hit into a double play. So the Giants hoping that that's not going to happen again.
Sanders wanting to tie his shoes, not together. But that'd be pretty tough. You're running to second base and you step on a shoelace. So it's always good to be alert and know when your shoe's untied.
Aurelia hit a fly ball to center field fairly deep in the fourth. He's 0 for 2. Low, 1 ball and no strikes. That's the pitch that Hudson wanted Aurelia to swing at, and thinking that maybe he could get a double play ball. One ball and no strikes. And a throw to first, and Sanders is back. The Diamondbacks have scored a couple of, or check that, the Tigers have scored a couple of more runs. They lead Arizona now 6-1. Aurelia with a half swing, and he's disgusted with himself, and it's a ball and a strike.
That's the same sort of swing he had when he hit in the double play. He's obviously fooled on the pitch and starting swing and tries to hold back, and the first time up he just hit a nice little ground ball to second base. That splitter. Bruce Sutter, who introduced that pitch, hitters just could not lay off it. He didn't have to throw a strike.
No. Aurelia, little flare, center field. It's going to fall. Hustling is Sanders. He goes to third. Sanders took a gamble.
I think he could see it pretty well from where he was. He was looking, and he could see that that was going to drop right in the Bermuda Triangle. And as far as he was, he might just well keep running hard because he wasn't going to be able to get back.
That's exactly right. If you slow down and second guess yourself, two bad things are going to happen. One, you're not going to make third if it falls. The other, you're going to be doubled up anyway. And here's Bonds. Bonds is doubled and he's grounded out. He represents the tying run. Infield now at their normal positions, and Bonds takes very high, and it's 1-0. Hatteberg holding on Aurelia. Ellis, the second baseman, shading Bonds to pull, as you would expect.
Well, the Giants had the first two men on in the fifth inning also and didn't score, but they're in a better spot now with the guy that got up there hitting.
That's right, and now Bonds is ahead 2-0, and you wonder if Hudson would give in to Bonds with Kent on deck. Bonds pulls one foul.
Well, that pitch was far enough inside that Bonds could not stay back enough to keep that one fair. So it was a good pitch by Hudson.
Well, this is the pitch you're talking about. He boom, a split down and in. 2-1 to Bonds. Could be a double play ball. Ellis to Tejada. Tejada to Hatteberg. A run comes in, and it goes 4-6-3 on the double play. And there's 2 away for Jeff Kent. This is the pitch sequence to Bonds. High. And then he threw one low. This is the pitch that Bonds is way out in front. And he threw him another one. Another split to get the double play. And here's Kent.
That's only the second time Bonds has grounded into a double play this year.
Here's Kent. Kent is 0 for 2. He hammers one towards the center fielder Long. And Long overran it, but he knocked it down. Kent is aboard. A 2-out single.
Well, that's twice that double play ground balls have been followed by base hits that would have meant a run.
Two outs for Minor, who struck out and he's walked.
Interesting thing, it's still very early in this ball game, and it's only 3-1 ball game, right. So it's not as though the Giants have wasted a lot of opportunities or a lot of time.
Low to Minor. Hudson, once in trouble, just stayed away from the fastball. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, not a fastball.
You know, that's going to result in back trouble for Minor in a couple of years. You swing that hard.
A violent swing it is. Benito Santiago on deck. A run in for the Giants. Minor pulls it foul right into the dugout. It rattles around.
He almost took out half of the A's bench.
One and 2. Inside to Minor, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't think Diaz is going to like what Hernandez did there. Watch how he reacts as though that's strike 3.
Yes, he did. It's 2 and 2. Setting up away to Minor. And Minor pops it up. Hatteberg and Ellis, but it's Ellis calling off Hatteberg. And stumbling, he makes the catch to end the inning. Giants pick up a run. And after 6, 3-1 A's. Here's Ramon Hernandez. He's 0 for 2. Strikeout and a fly ball. Fastball for a call strike, and it's 0-1. On deck, Adam Pyatt and then Tim Hudson. On the ground into hole, a base hit for Hernandez. That's a leadoff single here in the 7th. And here's Pyatt.
If you hear me scream in a minute, it's just because
You got a cramp.
I've got cramps in both legs. I have to stand on my hands the rest of the night. I knew I shouldn't have walked 20 miles today.
Yep. Pyatt Waiting on Schmidt. Here it comes. Swinging a drive into center field. Shinjo back. And he'll put it away. And that'll bring up Hudson, who's done some damage tonight. He walked in the third and scored, and then he doubled in the fifth. And he made Schmidt work very hard to get out of the inning.
Schmidt may pitch around him in this spot.
Pitch around him to get to Martello. So here's Hudson. 1 out, 1 on. Hudson could be bunting. He's not. And the pitch is a strike, and it's 0-1. Hudson looking down.
Minor better hope that he doesn't have to come charging in again if Hudson's going to swing. And here he comes.
And Hudson pulls the bat back, and that went right over the head of Hudson, and down to second goes Hernandez.
Boy, I don't know how he got out of the way of that one. He turned around to bunt and then was going to swing, and that ball went right over his helmet. I don't think that he was doing this on purpose to get at him, but boy, it served the purpose.
Wow.
Because Hudson was going to swing at that pitch after bluffing the bunt. But look how that comes in there, and he was able to get out of it.
You know what? I'm not sure he got out of the way. I think
it went right through him.
Yep. That pitch is low and away, and it's 2-1. Right through the helmet.
It almost hit his bat over his head. Watch this, how close it comes.
2 balls and 1 strike. And a strike, and it's 2-2.
See that pitch that just went there? I saw Mays in spring training put a hit and run on, and he hit a pitch like that for a line drive single in left field. Right there. That's where the pitch was.
Hernandez at second. This is the 2-2 coming up to Hudson, and he bounces it to Minor. Minor will take his time, and that's out number 2. On the play, Hernandez goes to third.
Say one thing, that if I'd have been up there hitting in that position, I never would have made any contact to rid of it bat.
Nope. Here's Mark Ellis.
I wouldn't have made any contact even if he hadn't thrown it up there, as far as I go.
Ellis takes a strike.
Important for Schmidt to get out of this inning again, which is obvious. You don't want to give up another run, but the Giants have just picked up one. He doesn't want to give one right back here, and he's got 2 outs now, so he's got to really work on Ellis.
Ellis holds up, and it's a ball and a strike. One ball and 1 strike. Schmidt with 7 strikeouts and 1 walk. Popped him up. Minor over by the A's dugout. Now he slows down and he makes the catch, and that'll end it. Hernandez left on third. Giants coming up. Santiago, Bell, and Shinjo. Here at Pac Bell Park, bottom of the 7th, 3-1 A's. Giants trying to do some damage against Tim Hudson, who's been very good. Giants did pick up 3 hits off of Hudson in the 6th, but could do no more than just score 1 run. And that's Messier in the bullpen getting loose. Jim Messier. Santiago is flied out and he's singled.
One of the biggest problems the A's have had in recent games is the fact that their middle relief hasn't been as strong as it was before. They've had some problems. The closer, Koch, has done good. Bradford's done well.
Santiago's got a base hit, and that's how the bottom of the seventh starts.
That ball was smoked because he couldn't react to it.
Right,
at
right,
third base.
right by him. All right, let's check in with Glenn.
Thanks, Duane, for our GMC professional grade tonight. We have been watching how the red-hot Damon Minor is doing against Tim Hudson. First at-bat, struck out looking. Second at-bat, Minor worked the count full and then walked. And then in the third at-bat last inning, with a 2-2 count, Minor popped out to second. That is our GMC professional grade tonight. Guys, back to you.
All right, thanks, Glenn. Here's David Bell, 0 for 2. David Bell, bouncing ball. Tejada's got it. Flips it to Ellis. Ellis to first. Double play. Nicely done. 6-4-3. Off the crack of the bat. You're thinking it's got a chance to get into the outfield, but it didn't. So Hudson comes through with a double play ball. 6-4-3.
Unfortunate thing for Bell is that ball came up. If it stays down, Tejada's not going to be able to get the ball or get it over in time for a double play, but it came up enough just that he could backhand it.
Here's Shinjo. He struck out twice. Chad Zerbe getting loose. Right field. Right there is Dye, and that'll end the inning. Leadoff single by Santiago goes by the boards. 3-1 A's.
Here's our Pennzoil protection play. Pennzoil, we're driving protection. Giants get a leadoff single by Benito Santiago in the bottom of the seventh inning, but the A's flash a little leather. Sweet play by Miguel Tejada. Flips to Mark Ellis. Ellis with the turn on to Scott Hatteberg in the nifty 6-4-3 double play for the Oakland A's, and the A's get out of the inning and they hold on to their 3-1 lead. That is our Pennzoil protection play for tonight, guys.
All right, thanks, Glenn. And here's Hatteberg to lead it off, facing Jason Schmidt. Fastball is high. Hatteberg, a single that knocked in a pair of runs in the third. He's 2 for 3. Swing and a miss. He threw him a changeup. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You read that article in the paper today about pitchers hitting?
Yes, I did.
In Atlanta, where the pitcher hit the home run for Atlanta to tie the game, and it went to 19 innings, and they had fireworks after the game, and they still shot him off at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
1-2 to Hatteberg.
The best the Giants can hope for right now is that this one goes extra innings and the fireworks are held up a little bit.
1-2. Foul. All right, let me ask you about a couple of guys from, we call it the good old days. Could Marichal hit?
Yes,
he could.
Yes, he could.
So he could kind of do it all then.
Yeah, in fact, he has the Giants record for hits for a pitcher
in a season. 1-2 to Hatteberg. He pops this one foul down the left field line. All right, Gaylord Perry.
Gaylord Perry could hit it.
Not bad. Mike McCormick.
I don't remember Mike to tell you how he hit. I think, as I recall, I think he hit it pretty well, but I don't recall Mike batting that much.
Well, Mike, if Mike's watching, he might jump in his car and let us know.
Well, he
first
could call us, yeah.
Blowing away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I used to have batting contests with the players before the game. I had Sam Jones, then Juan Marichal. I made the mistake of betting Juan Marichal long ball. He hit about 6 of them out.
Here's the 2-2 to Hatteberg. And a check swing foul, and it stays the same. Well, we know one thing. Those teams that those pitchers pitched for, they had a lineup that could hit. Lots of offense. Here's the 2-2. And a drive to right. Sanders coming in, and he's going to get there to make the catch.
Well, they speaking about them hitting in the World Series in '62, Marichal batting, round the bunt, hit on the hand. He was out for the rest of the series.
Yep. Chad Zerbe again down the left field line. Yeah, it just doesn't seem right that, and at that particular point, you can definitely pick to see who your best player is, but Marichal would be one of the best players, would not be able to continue in that series. Tejada takes a strike, and it's no balls and one strike.
Marichal ran into some tough injuries in his career. He hurt himself against the Dodgers, I think it was, running first base, hurt his ankle, was out for a while, which hurts the Giants. The Giants were always battling down to the last week, and any injury, or Jimmy Davenport had his hand broken by Don Drysdale with a pitch that probably cost the Giants a pennant in '59.
Here's the 1-1, and Tejada swings late, and it's 1-2. Tim Morrell joins Zerbe. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Tejada goes to right field. Sanders again moving in, and he'll put it away, and there's 2 down. All right, here's our drive of the game, brought to you by your Beria Nissan dealers. We mentioned it before, not too many balls hit out of the park or in the seats to right field. Chavez did it, and that's our drive of the game, brought to you by your Beria Nissan dealers. Chavez up right now with 2 down. Strike in the outside corner. 0-1.
Well, Schmidt has given up only the same amount of runs that he gave to the Yankees in the game. But unfortunately for him, to this point, the Giants haven't scored. Just the 1.
0-2 to Chavez. Both teams with 7 hits. Right back to Schmidt on a big hop, and he fires it to Minor to end the inning. Giants coming up. It'll be the pitcher spot. Sanders and Aurelia, 3-1 A's. Here's our game summary, brought to you by Jack in the Box. Hatteberg 2 for 4. He knocked in a pair of runs in the 3rd. Chavez, of course, the home run in the 4th. Sanders a couple of infield hits. Schmidt pitched well, but the Giants trail 3-1. Hudson pitching well also is out of the game, and Messier is in. John Mabry goes to first base, and here's Marvin Bernard, the pinch hitter. And Bernard, a high bouncing ball, tough play. Tejada gets rid of it quickly, and they got Bernard. So Bernard saw 1 pitch. That's 4 pitches in 4 outs. And here's the play by Tejada. Key to that is he got to it and then got rid of it in a hurry. And here's Sanders, and there's Jim Messier's numbers. Sanders 2 for 3. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Giants would like to have Bonds hit here in the 8th. If they go down in order, then of course he would lead off the 9th. They would rather have him hit with somebody on. And Messier took something way off, and Sanders was out in front, 0-2.
Messier's got that devastating screwball that he throws to the hitters. Use it as a changeup.
the plate, not by much. 1-2.
Yeah, Nasir had a tough time of faced 5 hitters, didn't retire anybody on Sunday against Houston.
Hayes did win that game. 1-2 to Sanders. Now they're coming into Sanders, and it's 2-2. 3-1 A's. Sanders, Bradford and Venafro in the bullpen. On the ground, that's a fair ball. Nice play by Chavez, and he throws him out. Chavez guarding the line with a nice play. And there's 2 outs for Aurelia. Ball looked like it came back on Chavez. If he's moving towards the line, and then came back and he made a nice stab at it. Of course, that was only half the play. Sanders runs well.
He had to get it over there in a hurry. The interesting thing is watching the A's bullpen now. They look like they got a softball team out there. Venafro and Bradford each throw that submarine type pitch.
Strike to Aurelia. Bonds waiting in the wings. We're in the 8th. And Aurelia can't wait long enough, and it's 0-2.
Well, you can bet right now that the A's are rooting for Nasir to get Aurelia so that Bonds is going to have to bat leading off the 9th with the Giants down at least 2 runs.
And 2 to Rich Aurelia. Very high. 1-2.
Giants have not been without their opportunities tonight. They've led off the 1st inning with a hit. They led off the 5th with a walk and a hit. Led off the 6th with 2 hits, and led off the 7th with a hit.
Close to Aurelia. 2-2. On the ground, in the hole, a base hit. Bonds is coming up here in the 8th. Aurelia with his 2nd hit. What's Art Howe going to do? He's coming out. And he's going for the left-hander, the funky throwing lefty. Venafro's coming in. It's 3-1 A's. A's with a 3-1 lead. We're in the 8th. Barry Bonds will be facing Mike Venafro. 3.09 ERA. This will be his 26th appearance. Opposition hitting .287, 11 walks, 8 strikeouts. So Venafro is not a guy that's going to strike out hitters, but he will make you uncomfortable. And here comes Bonds.
Bonds 0 for 3 against him in his career. 1 strikeout. And the fans rising in anticipation of Bonds adding to his 589 home runs. The A's infield trying to figure out how they're supposed to be playing. Tejada now is being shifted over to the right of second.
Strike to Bonds, and it's 0-1.
See Tejada waving to the dugout to get his instructions of where they want him to play.
Another strike, and it's 0-2.
My goodness. Bonds was baffled by that one. That play really got wide. Wasn't as bad as it looked up there.
0-2 to Bonds. One and two. All of a sudden now Bonds has to worry a bit about the strike zone against lefties. Bonds not bothered at all. 1-2. 2-2. Kent on deck.
Gap in left center field for Bonds. Just stays away from him. He might hit it into left center here. He hits it high. He hits it deep. It is off the wall.
Aurelia scores. Bonds digging for three.
They put off the water cannons out there, and I guess they thought it was in the seats. Boy, that didn't miss by much.
Well, I think Bonds thought he had it.
Yeah, he might have had an inside the park home run if he hadn't have thought that was out of here.
This is a night where it's tough to get it out, and we're talking 421 anyway.
And he'll just pitch to one batter.
The new pitcher coming in, it's Bradford. Stay with us. The slimmest of leads for the A's. It's 3-2. And Bonds missed tying this one up by 10 feet. Just above the arc. And right center field. Near the deepest part in the ballpark. And Bonds ends up with a triple. Bradford will be the new pitcher.
Well, he's pitched probably as well as anybody out of the bullpen. He gave up his first inherited runners scored on Monday night against Milwaukee. He blew the save but got the win, and had stranded all 8 of his inherited runners over his previous 6 games. So he hasn't let too many people cross home plate.
And the pitch is low to Kent.
Kent 0 for 1 in his career against Bradford.
Chad Bradford.
Hudson might be wondering now if the bullpen's going to give up another chance for him to win again.
There's a strike, and that evens the count. A's with their 4th pitcher, Hudson, Messier, Venafro, Bradford. The last 3 have all pitched here in the 8th inning. Kind of a frisbee breaking ball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Did you face anybody like that in your career?
You know, Quisenberry, there's Nen and Worrell.
Quisenberry threw it pretty hard though, didn't he?
They did. But you know, there's always somebody out there that was going to try to throw a little bit weird like that, and Quisenberry just happened to be really good at it. 2-1 to Kent. Kent rolls it foul. Now it's 2-2.
Well, you get used to watching the pitches come in from one angle, and then when you get a guy like this, if he has any step at all and control, it's pretty tough because you're just looking at the ball from a different angle.
Well, yep. One thing, too, is the more pitches that Kent sees, the better chance he has of picking up the release point. He got him. And that ends the inning. Bonds left at third. We'll go to the ninth. It's 3-2 Oakland. All right, time now for Carl's Jr. in your face. Art Howe brought in a lefty to face Barry Bonds. It was Mike Venafro, and Bonds beats the whole deal by nearly knocking one out, but he did triple off the wall in right center field. So Barry Bonds with the triple, and that's your Carl's Jr. in your face.
When that ball left the bat, it sure looked like it was a tie ball game.
It was
I think the wind must have knocked it down some out there because that ball was hit awfully hard.
Here's Tim Worrell. He'll do the pitching.
Well, Schmidt again goes 8 innings for the Giants. Keeps them in the ballgame.
Jermaine Dye takes a strike. This will be game 31 for Tim Worrell. 3-0. Good ERA. Overall, has done a great job for Dusty Baker coming out of the bullpen. Outside, not by much. 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's amazing. Schmidt pitches very well. Allows just 1 walk. That walk is to the pitcher, and it costs him a run.
And any way you look at it, it is the difference right now. Dye high to right field as Sanders has had a lot of work tonight, and he makes the catch, and there's out number 1. Giants in the 9th inning will have Minor, Santiago, and David Bell. And Billy Koch is getting loose.
Minor might hit a home run on Koch.
That'd be a pretty good matchup. Terrence Long 0 for 3. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Long, and it's high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Remember, tomorrow afternoon it'll be Aaron Harang against Russ Ortiz. It is a 1:05 start on Fox KTVU. Sunday, Barry Zito against Kirk Reeder. Long on the ground slowly. Minor has it, juggles it, goes to the bag, and that's out number 2.
David almost went to the bag without the baseball, rolled right up his arm.
You talk about big shoes to fill when you play first base in place of J.T. Snow. You're right, that had a tendency to go right up the glove. Here's Ramon Hernandez. Low and away. Hernandez 1 for 3. He singled in the 7th. 9th inning. Giants know that they'll go to the bottom of the 9th trailing. They just want to make sure at this point that they're down by 1. Low, and it's 2 balls and no strike. To the plate, and it's high. 3-0. The Giants coming in to this game trailed Arizona by 2.5 games. The Dodgers have lost. Arizona has lost. The Rockies have lost. There's a strike. San Diego has lost. And the Giants trying to break the pattern.
I think Lompoc lost also. Everybody on the West Coast is losing.
Atlanta beat Boston tonight. There's a pop-up out of play. The Battle of Missouri. St. Louis shut out Kansas City 3-0.
About the Battle of Texas. Did Texas hang on to beat Houston?
Yes, they did. Texas beat Houston 9-6. 3-2 to Ramon Hernandez. Fouls it again. The Battle of the Chicagos. Cubs beat the White Sox 8-4. The Battle of the Canadians. Montreal beat Toronto 8-2. Matchup in Florida. Tampa Bay beat the Marlins 4-3. Out of play. All the natural rivals. Those series started tonight. And of course that great rivalry, the Diamondbacks and the Tigers.
Yeah, that one's been a rivalry for years.
3-2 to Hernandez.
In fact, Diamondbacks are so upset they won't even order any cars from Detroit.
Here's another payoff to Hernandez, and he got him. Last chance for the Giants. Billy Koch is coming in. 3-2 A's. It's 3-2 Oakland, bottom of the ninth. John Mabry moves from first to right. Almedo Saenz comes into play first. And Billy Koch is the pitcher. 4-0 for Koch, a 4.08 ERA. Throws hard, 39 strikeouts, 35 in a third inning. And he'll go right after Damon Minor. Minor is 0 for 2 with a walk. Strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. So right out of the gate, Minor behind. Out of play. Look out. Las Diaz with that first call on Minor really forced Minor to go after the next one.
He's had as wide a strike zone as you're going to see tonight. He calls them off each corner, inside and outside.
Yep. 0-2. High, 1-2. Koch with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
He's one of the guys that has registered 100 on some of the speed guns.
Minor fouls it back, and it stays 1-2.
He needs to make a little mistake out over the plate.
And that last one was 98. Benito Santiago is on deck. 1-2 to Minor. Minor lines this one foul. He broke his bat. New wood for Damon Minor. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're in the ninth. High drive, center field in the park. And Long will put it away, and that's out number 1.
Well, I thought Minor might be the guy to have a chance because he just get around his fastball. He could hit it out to the opposite field with his power.
Well, he's so strong he doesn't have to hit it perfect to hit it out. Here's Santiago. Santiago swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
Bell is the only one with Bell and Sanders, the only ones with and Goodwin, the only ones with previous at bats against. Bell is 0 for 3 against Scott.
0-1. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2. Santiago trying to tie it up with one swing of the bat.
He might win it with one swing of the bat. It's Arce's swing.
0-2. Very high, 1-2. Koch off the mound, but crawls back up the hill. Three, 2 A's. 2-2. As mentioned earlier, Santiago not an easy guy to walk. Only 12 on the year. Two and two. Out of play. Fights it off.
Well, Santiago's talked about he's going to get one over the right field wall. This would be a good time to do it.
Yeah, with this wind, you'd have to hit it right down the line to do it.
They're giving him all the left center field.
And a pitch that's been a strike all night was not. And now it's 3-2.
Koch almost fainted. Well, the catcher had to reach for the ball, so that was probably what made the difference. Watch Koch now. Oh.
3-2. Out of play again.
He's starting to remind me of the bat that Kent had up there in Toronto.
Yeah.
Where he battled and battled and battled and got the base hit.
Well, of course, Ken had a great at bat in New York against
That's what
Mariano Rivera.
It was New York. It was. And Aurelia had a great at bat in that one too to get the walk.
Yes, he did. 3-2. Giants will take a walk. Out of play. David Bell on deck.
You don't think thoughts are running through David Bell's mind about how he'd like to make up for what's happened to him at the plate tonight.
3-2. Another payoff. Santiago fouls it back. That pitch was in.
He was lucky to get a piece of that ball.
Yeah, that was not a strike.
Tenth pitch coming up to Santiago. Well, the one thing, if you're getting a hard thrower to have to throw a lot of pitches, sometimes if fastball backs up on him a little bit, you get a little better pitch to hit.
3-2. Right center field, but Long is there. He'll make the catch. 2 down.
Got it. Too much up on the bat that time. Didn't get it on a sweet spot. Now Bell, who has made 4 outs and 3 at bats.
Here's David Bell. Down the line. That's going to be extra bases. David Bell's got a double, and this game is not over. Goodwin is going to run for David Bell. Little compact swing from David Bell. And well, we will watch the rest of this one from the dugout.
Shinjo's got some making up to do tonight, too. He's 0 for 3. Bryant's got a good chance of scoring the tying run with a base hit with Goodwin at second base. He's got the speed.
Well, that's the outfield playing Shinjo deep. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Shinjo not looking like he's just trying to get a hit, looking like he's trying to hit one out. And you chase that 97-mile-an-hour high fastball, it's going to be rough.
Rob Nen going to the bullpen.
High bouncing ball. Chavez is going to let it roll. First and third. With and the hitter is going to be Sean Dunston. Once it hit, it stuck and stayed down, and no chance. So Shinjo is at first. At third is Goodwin. Who would like to make up for some of his numbers that are not impressive?
No, he's batting just 157, but he does have 2 pinch hits, 1 home run.
And Dunston, you know this, will go down with a fight.
Rick Peterson out there now. Must be starting a crap game. He has enough guys out there. So he wants everybody to hear this. What would he be telling the infielders in a spot like this? I don't know what you'd do different.
Well, the only thing that you do, Lon, is if you get 2 strikes on Dunston and the Giants decide to pull a double steal, you know, you figure out what you're going to do. But you think maybe you'd do that after Dunston got to 2 strikes. Well, the one thing Dunston is going to do, I don't think he's going to take too many pitches. And maybe that's a good thing for Billy Koch. We'll see. That's the tying run.
Tying at third and potential winning run at first.
And now a bit more pressure on the defense. As Koch is ready to throw. And Dunston lines this one. Long is going to be there. And that's the ball game. So the A's hold on. They take round 1 in this 3-round battle, and they beat the Giants by a final of 3-2. The Giants leave a pair here in the 9th inning, and in the end, Tim Hudson does get the win, and he goes to 4-6. Schmidt, the loser, he is now 2-2. And with 1 home run in tonight's game, $23,000 has been raised for prostate cancer research. Thanks for helping keep Dad in the game. 3-2 is the final. Congratulations all the way around. As the A's win this one 3-2, we'll be back.